Hey everybody, welcome to Randy's Road Life. I'm Randy. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. There's a little bell on the center right hand portion of the screen. Please hit that. You get these notifications about subjects that I try to tackle and deal with on a day-to-day basis. I don't post videos every day. I post videos as they are needed, as I believe they are needed, and when I got interesting content that you might need or benefit from. So with that, I would also like to advise, please don't troll my channel, because I'm just going to remove your comment. I don't appreciate trolls or just straight negativity. If you would like to critique me, please do so in a respectable manner. I'm a human being, you're a human being, I will treat you as such. So with that, let's begin. Now, you saw the title of this video. It's about a tanker company named Schwerman. They've been around for a long time. They're based out of Walbridge, Ohio, which is up there in the Lucas County area, like Toledo, Rossford, Perrysburg. That part right there is kind of small. They drive Volvos and Kenworths almost exclusively, I believe. Sorry. So anyways, there's two people I'm going to deal with in this. Well, I'm not going to put their names out there. We're going to deal with the lady. We're going to call her Miss K. And we're going to deal with a driver manager, I guess you can call him. But he's like the manager, and he hires and all that type of stuff. We're going to call him Mr. F. So F and K. Kind of, I didn't put it together like that, but that's the way it is. Excuse me. So anyways, a friend of mine worked for them, and this is how I received the content for this video. A friend of mine worked for Schwerman. Now, Schwerman is also TankStar. They're both one and the same. They just split themselves. They just split it like that. So for tax purposes, I believe. But this is Schwerman and TankStar. All right. He had a number of issues dealing with this company. One is the micromanagement was very extreme. He's receiving, now he has an onboard, I believe they used Omnitracks or something like that. And they were sending him text messages, and they required him to answer his text messages. And he was trying to tell them, like, I'm driving. And see, being that from this area, he had a route that always went to Chicago and back. So he's up and down the turnpike there in 80-90, going up 41 and all this other stuff. So he's always trying to tell them, look, I can't always keep stopping to text you. I'm driving, you know. So there was that. Miss K had fumbled on her job several times, getting his bills wrong, and thereby making his arrival times wrong. His appointment times were wrong. And then she attempted to talk him into taking the blame. She had hired a new lady who she was training. And this became a very consistent thing. Things were being printed off incorrectly, and then fell upon him because he's following orders on the BOL. He has to be there at a certain time. He picks up his tank. He does his pre-trip and he rolls out. Okay, he's following the bills. Well, lo and behold, the bills are wrong. All right, he then gets held responsible for it. Driver manager Mr. F calls him, like, hey, this is going on. Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? You're not answering your text messages. Well, I'm driving. I can't answer my text messages. Right? So they're causing an issue of unsafe practices. They want you to be unsafe. All right? And then the micromanagement is so extreme. They post. I know some of you know about the onboard cameras of the trucks, and some of them actually, when certain instances happen, they record them immediately, right? And they record throughout the day like that. Well, back in Schwerman, they post a thing up every week of how many people, like their camera went off, and how many times it did it in a month, right? And they list everybody's. And they're always pretty high because you're dealing with the turnpike, you're dealing with a lot of congested traffic, especially Chicago. People are constantly, cutting you off, invading your space. Even if you give anyone 8 to 9 seconds, that gap is going to fill rather quickly. Even now with the COVID epidemic, you got the streets are not as congested as they were. You still have that in Chicago. I just drove through Chicago yesterday, and I was on 290 most of the way, but you still have that issue. So then there was that. And then he got hurt on the job while he was working. He hit a big dip and his seat bottomed out and it slipped his disc in his back. So he went on medical. They actually forced him to go on medical, workman's comp. He went into workman's comp. He was evaluated, approved for workman's comp. MRI showed that his back was messed up and all this other stuff. Schwerman knew this. They also received the report. So this was getting worked out, and there was a time coming back that where he was going to be able to start driving again. Well, he had to have dental surgery because he had like somewhat of like an abscess tooth or something that had to be dug out. It was broken and buried under the gum, and it was causing him a great amount of pain. So they had worked that, and he would come back after that, which was a 5-day period. Well, before that period is either up, he received a group text and they terminated him. Okay, he was summarily terminated for that. So, I mean, you're talking about just getting hosed all the way around. When he took the job, it's the same old story. It's the same old content. Recruiter sells you the world. Oh, you're gonna come here, you're gonna make so much money. You're gonna get these routes and this routes and this routes, which he never did. He never got the route they told him he was gonna take. He never got everything they told him he was gonna get. And as he was explaining this to me, now he was been talking to me while all of this was actually occurring. I would receive a phone call en route from him explaining to me, man, he said, this is there's so much incompetence here. My bills are wrong, my time is wrong. I should, they got me leaving out at the wrong time. They got me, my appointment time is messed up, and they got me late and they're blaming me for it, and so, and he's very new to the trucking industry, and so he didn't quite know how to handle the whole fiasco of what was happening to him. And I believe, in my perspective and opinion, that Schwerman was using that to their advantage, because they were receiving corporate issues, which also trickled down to drivers. So you got managers putting pressure on drivers, and micromanagement being stepped up to very extreme and agitating levels. So there had been a point where he had considered changing companies for quite a while. We were actually talking about that and where he might go. So it's the same old story with these companies, man. This company's been around for like 100 plus years, I believe. You guys can Google it. It's Schwerman, SCHWERMAN, I believe is how it's spelled. I do have it in the title. So, and they are also TankStar. So it's another one of those, they lure you in, and then after a while the blinds come off and you see what you're really a part of, and you're stuck. You're stuck until the dang wheels fall off. When the wheels fall off, it's too late, and you can't do nothing about it but, ride it out into its inevitable end. And that's what happened to him. He got screwed in the end, and he was made a scapegoat for their failure. And it's really deplorable and despicable that these trucking companies do this to guys, and it's the same old story. They're not the only ones that do it. You got U.S. Express, CR England, CRST, you got Covenant, just did it to my brother. It wasn't quite like that, but still, man, there's thousands of stories from truck drivers about these issues. And man, at some point, you got to hold them accountable. Man, how do we do that? It's hard to say, man. Don't work for them, but we need jobs. You know, it's just what it comes down to. He was in a position where he was a new driver, so they hired him and trained him. So he was insanely loyal to that mindset. You know, he was a military guy. He spent quite a number of years in the Army, so he was loyal. And that's what really made him blind to how everything was proceeding, you know. And then, you know, as he started seeing how things were developing and he was getting depressed and how he was being treated. So, shoot, man, is do your research, please. Do your research. Go look at the reviews. You know, ask questions. You know, when my brother told me he was going to Covenant, see, prior to that, he had asked me about companies, and I gave him a list of companies to check out, and Covenant was not on that list. Sierra England was not on that list, and US Express was not on that list, and he still went to Covenant, you know. Yeah, he needed a job, and he was desperate, so he went there. Excuse me, can I blame him? I mean, not really, but, you know what you're going to get. You know what you're going to get. Very, very few drivers go to these companies and come out unscathed. You know, at some point you're injured. I'm not talking about bodily. I'm talking about financially, psychologically. You know, it's morally. You become a victim of these things. And I've been really fortunate here at BB Key. It's been great. You know, the communication is good. I get treated very well. You know, my wife, she is adamant that I not leave. You know, and so my friend Trucker Todd, he's happy where he's at. You see, he's a road recruiter now, and he's doing great. And he found his niche. I found my niche, and that's what we all need to do. You know, it's hard. You know, and he's went through several companies, you know, and that's for him to put out there, not for me. I've known some of the companies he's been with, but that's entirely his business. And if he wants to tell you guys where he's been in his past, then he will do that. But I've been with some trash can companies. He's been with one or two trash can companies, and so we know how this plays out for the most part, you know. So it's about time that we had our moment in the sun. But I want all drivers to have their moment in the sun. I want us to be able to drive decent trucks, to make a good wage, to work for companies that actually have good communication skills and care about the driver, because he's an employee. Even if you're a contractor, look, you're still contracted to them. You guys got a contract. They still have to take care of you at a certain extent. So, you know, we all need that. We all want to feel like the person on the other end of the line cares about our well-being, and the truck cares about our opinions and our perspectives, you know, and what we believe as far as the trucking industry and how we want to work. That's what we want to do, and that's what I want. And so, remember, Schwerman, you know, be careful. If you're a tanker driver, if you're a tank anchor, and you want to go to Schwerman, be very careful. You know, this is what you might run into. Maybe there are guys who do really good at Schwerman. There might be, there probably is. I don't doubt that, you know. But yeah, as far as my friend is concerned, they took advantage of his naivety, and I think it's really despicable that they did that to him. And but what I gave you is as objective as possible, is all the information that I had without giving you his personal information. Me and him had just recently talked about this. So with that, like I said in the beginning of the video, please like and subscribe. Get these notifications when I put out this content. I don't like putting out frivolous content. You know, I might have fun every once in a while. I loved introducing my wife to you guys. It was a very short video. It was, you know, some highs and stuff like that. It was her and me, you know, having a great week together. I didn't make a lot of money that week, so I am going to be posting another settlement here soon, so you guys can see what's going on in the COVID crisis here at BB Key Group. It's not that much of a crisis, even though our rates have went down considerably. My rates are probably averaging of about $1.20 to $1.30 a mile. That's cutting it pretty close. I was at about $2 to $1.80 something a mile. So you see, I have taken a significant hit. And this week, I will have driven about 3,400 miles, and I get live loaded and live unloaded, everybody. So it tells you that I've been running my ass off, you know, as best I can. So you gotta, I mean, that's what you gotta do right now. You gotta put those miles in. I saw Mr. Trucker Todd's video, and he said a driver there put in 4,100 miles. That's very exemplary, and I love it when guys, you know, can drive. You know, it's a great quality to be able to have, is be able to condition so well that you can put those type of miles behind the wheel, dude. That's so awesome, and I'm proud. Excuse me, bless me. Woo. My allergies been acting up the last couple of days. So with that, you guys have a great day. Stay uncomplicated, and let's make money and take care of our families, everybody.